Hey stargazers, can you believe there's a huge celestial event coming up? Picture this: a star so bright that it could throw shadows on Earth during the day. That's what we might see with the star Betelgeuse in the Orion constellation, which is acting pretty mysteriously. Right now, scientists think it might be gearing up for a supernova explosion and could light up our sky like never before. So when will this happen, and what will it look like? Betelgeuse is about 650 light years away from us and isn't your average star. It's a red supergiant and one of the brightest stars out there, shining over 100,000 times brighter than our sun. This star has been known to many ancient civilizations and has guided travelers for ages. Its reddish color makes it stand out in the night sky. If you think about it, if Betelgeuse replaced our sun, it would extend all the way out to Jupiter, even though it's much younger than the sun at only 10 million years old. It's huge and burns through this fuel quickly, which means it doesn't have long left before it goes supernova. When larger stars reach the end, they don't just fade away, they explode in an event that's really hard to comprehend. Could be so bright that it outshines entire galaxies. The last time Earth saw a supernova this close up was in 6004. Before modern telescopes, that explosion was known as the Kepler supernova, and it was so bright that you could see it during the daytime for weeks. Ancient records from that time remind us how special these events are. Recently, Betelgeuse has been acting strange. Between late 2019 and early 2023, its brightness dropped significantly. A phenomenon called the Great Dimming. It got noticeable enough that even casual stargazers could pick up on it. This made many think we might be decades away from seeing it blow up. In April 2023, it suddenly returned to its usual brightness, and then its brightness shot up by 50%. Stars like Betelgeuse usually have predictable brightness cycles, so this change raised eyebrows. Scientists think maybe it's blowing off some gas, similar to a volcano, affecting how we see it. No one knows exactly what will happen next. Some researchers say it could be nearing the end of its carbon burning phase, while others think it's still in the helium burning stage. The truth is, scientists agree that Betelgeuse will likely become the next Milky Way supernova, but figuring out when is anyone's guess. It could be decades or up to 100,000 years. Looking at Betelgeuse, we're really seeing light that left 650 years ago. So while we're speculating about its future, the star's fate might have already happened. When it finally goes, we'll have a front row seat to a cosmic show. The recent happenings with Betelgeuse have sparked a lot of discussions this summer. Another supernova in a nearby galaxy caught everyone's attention, which looked like what many of us predicted for Betelgeuse. This reminds us how connected everything in the universe is. The explosion will not just affect stars, but also have cultural implications. When Betelgeuse finally blows, it could inspire art, literature, and have an impact on how people view the universe. Plus, it could affect technology on Earth, especially with satellites being more sensitive to radiation. In the end, Betelgeuse serves as a reminder that everything in the universe is always changing. While stars die, new ones are born, ensuring the circle of life continues in the cosmos. When it does go off, it's sure to capture the attention of everyone, a reminder of our place in this ever-evolving universe. Okay, stargazers, get this. Can you imagine a star blowing up so big it casts shadows on Earth even during the day? Well, that might happen soon with Betelgeuse in the Orion constellation. The star is acting weird, like it's about to explode. In a supernova could light up our sky like crazy, but when will it happen, and what will it look like? Scientists think this explosion could show us some cool stuff. Let's check out what's up with Betelgeuse and what it might do to Earth and the solar system. Betelgeuse is about 650 light years away in Orion. It's not just any star, it's a super bright red giant shining way brighter than our sun, but why do we care is not just bright, it has a history. People have watched it for centuries. Its name even comes from an Arabic phrase about Orion's hand. People used it to guide them when they traveled and wondered about it when they looked up at the sky. Its red color makes it stand out in Orion. Can you think about a star so big that it makes our whole solar system look small? If Betelgeuse was where our sun is, it would reach all the way to Jupiter. How does a star get so big? It's only 10 million years old, which is younger than our sun, but it burns through its stuff a lot faster, so it won't last as long. This huge star is almost done with its life. Stars like this don't just fade away, they explode in a supernova with tons of energy. It's like way more energy than we can imagine. The explosion will outshine a whole galaxy and cast bright shadows everywhere. Earth last saw a supernova this close in 6004. Before we had good telescopes, it was called the Kepler supernova and was the last one we could see with our eyes. In the Milky Way, it was super bright for over a year and a half, even during the day for a few weeks. What can old stars tell us? People in China and Europe wrote about that new star back then. We can still see the leftovers of that explosion with fancy telescopes, which tells us how big stars die. Supernovas don't happen often around here, but think about a star exploding so hard it's as bright as the full moon. It would cast shadows on Earth at night and be visible during the day. The radiation could mess with our atmosphere, affect satellites, and maybe even the climate. Betelgeuse has been dimming weirdly, so maybe it's getting ready for that kind of show. Are we about to see one of the universe's craziest events? Here's what happened. From 2019 to 2023, Betelgeuse changed a lot. It got super dim, which people noticed when they compared it to other stars in Orion. It was really clear. That means it might explode sooner than we thought, maybe in decades or less. By April 2023, it went back to normal and people thought it was over, but then it got 50% brighter. That's not normal for Betelgeuse, which usually has a regular cycle, so now everyone's talking about it again. Why did its brightness change? Stars aren't just twinkling things, they're active and have their own lives. Stars usually change brightness regularly, like the seasons on Earth. Betelgeuse used to have a normal 400-day cycle, but when it got really dim, it broke that pattern. So what's going on is still being looked at. A cool idea is that it's like a huge space volcano burping out a bunch of stuff. The Hubble Space Telescope saw it spit out a ton of material before, way more than the sun usually does. That stuff made a big cloud around the star, making it look darker. When the cloud went away, it got brighter again. Either way, the star is full of surprises. Some people think Betelgeuse is about to die in a supernova, a crazy burst of energy that can outshine a galaxy. This happens when something changes in the star's core. It could be from sucking up too much stuff from another star, or for Betelgeuse, it could be running out of fuel. But what makes a star like Betelgeuse blow up? These stars start when gas collapses, then they burn hydrogen in their cores for millions of years. When they run out of hydrogen, they start burning helium, which makes carbon and oxygen. This makes the star get bigger and turn into a red giant. As it burns up its helium, it gets even bigger and starts burning other stuff. The bigger the star, the faster this happens. Finally, iron starts forming in the core. Iron doesn't make energy when it fuses, so the star can't fight its own gravity. The star gets huge and then collapses, causing a massive explosion, a supernova. So is Betelgeuse about to blow? Some scientists think it's burning carbon now. One scientist thinks it might explode a few decades after it runs out of carbon. Others think it's still burning helium. Either way, everyone agrees that Betelgeuse will be the next supernova in the Milky Way, but when it could be in decades or 100,000 years. When we look at the stars, we're seeing a paradox. Stars are so far away that their light takes a long time to reach us. Light is super fast, but space is super big. So when you look at Betelgeuse, you're seeing it as it was 650 years ago. Back then, the Renaissance was starting, and Marco Polo was traveling every time we look at Betelgeuse. It's like looking into the past. If it already exploded, we wouldn't know for another 650 years. So while we're talking about when it will explode, it might have already happened. We're just waiting for the light to get here. The recent news about Betelgeuse has made people think about another supernova, SN 203X, which happened in a galaxy near us. It reminded people that the universe is weird and unpredictable. SN 2023X was really bright and looked kind of like what we think will happen to Betelgeuse. The way it exploded gave us a peek at what happens to big stars when they die. For many, SN 2023X was like a preview of what will happen to Betelgeuse. It also reminds us that the universe is connected. Stars like Betelgeuse and supernovas like SN 2023X show us that space is always changing. Besides the science, the explosion would change how people think. The sky would look different, which would make us think about how things don't last forever, how big the universe is, and where we fit in it. It would remind us that life is short and that we always want to know more. When Betelgeuse finally explodes, it could affect the Milky Way. The explosion will send out waves of gas that will create new stars and planets. The light from the explosion could help astronomers learn a lot about how stars live and die. Each supernova is different and shows us how energy works in these big explosions. By studying them, we can understand how the universe works. Supernovas can also change culture. Big space events have affected art, books, and ideas. The bright light from Betelgeuse would probably inspire artists and make people think about their place in the universe. It could make people interested in space and science like it did during the Renaissance. Betelgeuse, located in the Orion constellation, continues to captivate scientists and stargazers alike due to its unpredictable behavior. For centuries, it has been a star of cultural significance, inspiring stories and guiding travelers. This iconic red supergiant, with its impressive size and brightness, has long been observed as one of the most important stars in the night sky, but now it's behaving strangely, and scientists are keeping a close watch, as its future could mean an incredible cosmic event. A key aspect of Betelgeuse's unpredictability is its irregular cycle of brightness known as variability. These shifts in light intensity have fascinated astronomers for years, but the recent fluctuations in its luminosity have raised more questions than answers. Unlike other stars that follow a steady cycle of brightness, Betelgeuse's erratic behavior has led to speculations about its imminent fate. It had a significant dimming event between late 2019 and early 2023, which led many experts to believe it was nearing the end of its life and may soon go supernova. However, in April 2023, the star suddenly brightened again, sparking even more curiosity and theories. This phenomenon isn't unusual for massive stars like Betelgeuse, which are known to undergo drastic changes toward the end of their life cycle. The core of such stars typically goes through various stages of fusion, starting with hydrogen, then helium, and eventually heavier elements like carbon and oxygen. As Betelgeuse moves through these phases, it is burning its fuel at an incredibly fast rate, causing it to expand and become more unstable. Eventually, when the core runs out of fuel, it will no longer be able to support the outer layers, leading to a catastrophic collapse that triggers a supernova explosion. This process is a natural, albeit violent, part of a star's life cycle, and it has profound implications not only for the star itself but for the surrounding space. As Betelgeuse nears the end of its life, it has already begun to expel vast amounts of gas and dust into space. This material forms what astronomers call a circumstellar envelope which can obscure the star's brightness from our perspective. This is likely the cause of the star's recent dimming. The expulsion of material is akin to a massive stellar burp ejecting material that temporarily blocks the light emitted by the star. Once the material disperses, the star becomes brighter again as it did in April 2023. These sudden shifts in brightness provide scientists with clues about what is happening deep inside the star's core, but they are still unable to predict the exact moment of its inevitable explosion. The most thrilling aspect of Betelgeuse's impending supernova is the potential for the event to be visible during the day. If the star explodes, it will emit such an intense burst of light and energy that it could rival the brightness of the full moon, making it visible even in daylight. This explosion will not only light up the sky, but could also have significant effects on Earth. The radiation produced by the explosion could potentially interfere with communication systems, disrupt satellite operations, and even have an impact on Earth's atmosphere. While the explosion itself will take place far from Earth at a distance of 650 light-years, the energy released will still be capable of affecting space weather, possibly altering the conditions around our planet. Betelgeuse explosion could have widespread cultural and scientific ramifications. Historically, supernovae have been a source of inspiration for artists, philosophers, and scientists, offering a dramatic reminder of the impermanence of life and the vastness of the universe. The light from Betelgeuse supernova could become a symbol of cosmic renewal, as the explosion will release essential elements into the surrounding space, contributing to the formation of new stars and planets. The aftermath of the supernova will likely provide valuable data for astronomers, shedding light on the processes that govern stellar evolution and death. While the exact timing of Betelgeuse explosion remains uncertain, its unpredictable behavior is a reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of the universe. For now, astronomers will continue to monitor the star using the latest technology to study its every move. The mystery surrounding Betelgeuse serves as a compelling reminder that space is full of wonders and surprises, many of which are yet to unfold. Betelgeuse's potential explosion is not just a fascinating event for scientists, it also offers a unique opportunity to explore the fundamental processes of stellar life and death. When massive stars like Betelgeuse run out of fuel, they undergo a rapid transformation that causes them to expand and shed outer layers, creating a stunning display of cosmic energy. This shedding of material is not just a random event, it's part of the star's inevitable fate. The remaining core, unable to support the weight of the outer layers, collapses in on itself. This collapse causes a massive release of energy, marking the beginning of a supernova. Supernovae are crucial for the chemical evolution of galaxies, as they release heavy elements like iron, oxygen, and carbon into the surrounding space. These elements are essential for the formation of planets and life. So while Betelgeuse's explosion will be a momentous event, it will also contribute to the creation of new stars and planets, perpetuating the cycle of cosmic rebirth. The heavy elements produced in the explosion will eventually become part of new star systems, possibly even forming planets that could support life. The light and radiation from the supernova will be so intense that it may alter the composition of the interstellar medium. These effects will travel through space, affecting nearby celestial objects and even potentially impacting the space environment within our own solar system. While the explosion is far enough away that it won't pose an immediate danger to Earth, the energy it emits will still serve as a reminder of the forces at work in the cosmos. For now, scientists are carefully observing Betelgeuse collecting as much data as possible about its erratic behavior. With each passing year, they learn more about the life cycles of stars and the profound effects of supernovae. The eventual explosion of Betelgeuse will not only mark the end of its life but also provide astronomers with a wealth of information that will help them better understand the evolution of the universe.